Welcome to distance learning sessions through videos. This is the third session on chapter number 3, Shapes and Patterns. Today, let us understand about two important kinds of motion in objects, that is rolling and sliding. Dear children, we see the pictures of a marble and a ball. So objects like marbles and balls are smooth. Observe here, the surfaces of such spherical objects are smooth surfaces. They have no corners. So there are no corners for such objects. They only have a curved surface. When they are pushed along the ground, they roll. So when we push such spherical objects like a marble, a ball, it could be a cricket ball, football, basketball, volleyball, whatever kind of ball. So when we apply some force on such objects, they tend to roll on the surface. They can have only rolling motion. On the other hand, the objects like dice and Rubik's cube have only flat surfaces. So a Rubik's cube and this is a dice. So such objects have only flat surfaces. So these both of these have 6 faces and all the faces are flat. They are not having any curved surfaces. They have no curved surfaces. So when they are pushed along the floor, they slide. Dear children, please understand the difference between rolling and sliding. So if an object is having only flat surface, as shown here in the case of a Rubik's cube or a dice, when such objects are pushed along the ground, they will just slide. That means the face which is touching or in contact with the floor will be in contact with the floor throughout its motion. The point of contact of this object with the floor will not change. But in case of spherical objects like a marble or a ball, when we push them, they roll along the floor or ground. So where the point of contacts of the ball with the floor go on changing as the ball or the marble moves. Objects like candles and drums have both curved and flat surfaces. Look here, look at the candle. The bottom surface of the candle is a flat surface and the other part somewhere here it is having curved surface. Similarly, in case of a drum, the bottom and the top surface of a drum are flat surfaces and the middle region part of the drum is curved surface. Such objects roll when pushed along the curved surface and slide when pushed along the flat surface. So when such objects are pushed, if the flat surfaces are in contact with the ground, then the objects will slide, and if the spherical surface or curved surface of the object is in contact with the ground, then when some force is applied on them, when they are pushed, the objects tend to roll. So such objects will have both kinds of motion, that is, they can roll and also they can slide. So please understand about these two kinds of motion and different objects with their different kind of surfaces, whether they have sliding motion, rolling motion, or both. This is about sliding and rolling of different objects. So here we have try these. Number 1. Take the correct answer. When pushed along the ground, a football will. So whether it rolls or whether it slides, this is the answer we need to identify and tick the appropriate box. Since a football is having spherical surface, when it is pushed along the ground, the football will roll. Therefore, we have to tick this box. A football will roll along the ground. It will not slide because it is not having any flat surface. Coming to question number 2. When pushed along the ground, a box will slide. Since it is not having any curved surface, the box can only slide on the ground. So we need to tick this box. Exercise 3C. Question number 1. Take the objects that can only roll and cross the objects that can only slide. We know that the objects that can only roll are spherical objects, or which are having the curved surfaces. So let us take the objects that can only roll. Here we have a box, a mango juice container, which is it looks like a box with the flat surfaces. It cannot roll. So here we have a jar. It seems to be a glass jar. When it is when the flat surface of this glass jar is placed on the ground, it can slide. Here the question is, we need to take the objects that can only roll. The object should not have both kinds of motion, rolling and sliding. So this jar can have both rolling and sliding motion. So we will not take this. Coming to C, here we have a picture of a ball. So a ball can always only roll. Therefore, let us tick this box. And coming to D, it's a cone. It can have both kind of, it is having a flat surface and a curved surface. Therefore, it can have both kinds of motion, that is rolling and sliding motion. And in E, we have only a box with the flat surface, and it can slide when it is pushed along the ground. So now what we need to do is, we have to cross the objects that can only slide. So coming to A again, this is a box with flat surface. When it is pushed along the ground, it can only slide. It can never roll, since it is not having the curved surface. Therefore, we will cross this box. Since we are asked to cross the box with the objects that can only slide. Here, this jar can have both sliding and rolling motion, so we will not put a cross mark here. Similarly, in D also we have a cone which can slide when it is pushed along its flat surface, and it can roll when it is pushed along the curved surface. It can have both kinds of motion. We will not cross this. Coming to E, it is having a box, it is having the flat surfaces. Therefore, when it is pushed along the ground, it can have only sliding motion. It can only slide. Therefore, we will put a cross mark in this box. Now let us move to next question. Question number 2. Ring the objects that can roll as well as slide. So this is the picture of cells. The cells can have both. You can see here the one of the cell is standing on its base and other on its body. So this can roll and this can slide. So therefore, ring the objects that can only roll that can roll as well as slide. So the object in A cell can have both rolling and sliding motion. So we'll ring this object like this. Coming to B, it is a box, it's a gift box. It can have only sliding motion, it can only slide, it cannot roll. Coming to C, we have another gift box here which is cylindrical with a flat base, which can have sliding motion and rolling motion both. So we will put a ring around it to indicate it can have both rolling and sliding motion. Coming to D, it is a ball. It can have only rolling motion, so we will not put any ring around it. Coming to E, it's a roll of cellophane tape, and it can have both rolling and sliding motion. It is having both flat and curved surface, so it can have both kinds of motion, and we will put a ring around it to indicate it can have both kinds of motion, rolling and sliding motion. Now let us understand some basics about lines. So when we write anything on a paper with a pencil or a pen, we start with drawing or writing lines. We may write alphabets, numbers, we may draw a diagram, figure, whatever. So all these shapes we write on the paper with a pen or pencil comprises of lines. So lines could be of two kinds, that is straight line and curved lines. Let us see what are these and how we can draw them. So when we draw a line, placing a ruler on a sheet of paper with a pencil alongside of a ruler, we will draw a straight line which looks like this. This is a straight line. And so when we draw a line by keeping a coin or a cup on the surface of the paper, and we draw its outline, which will be a curved line as it is shown here. A part of the curved line is shown here, and we may draw any lines like this, which are called as curved lines. A straight line looks like this, and a curved line looks like this, which are irregular. Let us have some examples for straight lines and curved lines. So a line like this, which is flat horizontal, such lines, straight lines, are called sleeping lines. And such a line which is vertical is called a standing line, and which is a line which is oblique is called a slanting line. So these are the three types of straight lines we can draw on a paper or on any surface. It could be on a board. And examples for curved line are, if you draw an outline of a leaf, that will be a curved line. And you may draw a outline of a coin, which is an example for curved line. You can get a curved line by drawing outline of a coin. Shapes formed using straight lines. So you are drawing straight lines, so what kinds of shapes we can draw are. So we are familiar with these shapes. This is a rectangle. So rectangle is drawn by drawing 4 straight lines. This is a square, a triangle, and this diagram is called a pentagon, and this is a rhombus. So these shapes are drawn using straight lines. This is a parallelogram. So all these shapes are drawn using straight lines. And shapes are formed by curved lines. Let us see. These are some shapes in which we draw these with curved lines. You can see the surfaces of these diagrams, edges or outlines. These are curved lines. And when we write 0 or O, that is an example for curved line. Or when you write numbers like 3, 2, 8, etc. Are curved lines. The alphabets like C, B, D, O, etc. are curved lines. The alphabet A is written with straight lines, whereas the alphabet C is written with curved lines. And alphabets like B and D are having both straight lines and curved lines. Now let us answer these questions in exercise 3D. Question number 1. Take the lines that are curved. So in question number 1, we have 6 sub-questions A to F, in which we need to tick the box corresponding to the curved lines. So in A, we have a curved line here. See, this is a curved line, and we will put a tick mark here. B, this is a straight line, so we will not put any mark here. C is again a curved line, we will put a tick mark here. D is curved line, put a tick mark. E is again curved line, look here, it's having a part of curved and straight lines here, and anyhow it is having a curved line, so we will put a tick mark here. F is purely made of straight lines, so we will not put any mark here. Coming to question number 2, ring the lines that are not straight. Not straight means which are curved lines. So we need to put a ring around the shapes which are not straight. A is drawn with a part of curved lines here, which is not straight in this region. We will put a ring to indicate that. Coming to B, we are having purely straight lines here. This arrow mark, this arrow shape is drawn with straight lines here, and we will not put any ring around it. Coming to C, this shape is drawn with curved lines. We will put a ring around it. Coming to D, it looks like the letter V, which is written with 2 straight lines. We will not put any ring around it. And coming to E, it's a curved line, and we will put a ring around it. F, we have 2 straight lines here, and we will not put any ring around it. So this is how we need to answer such questions. Question number 3, tick the straight lines. Here we need to tick the straight lines. A is not a straight line, B is straight line, put a tick mark. C is not a straight line, D is a straight line, put a tick mark. E is curved line, F is straight line, put a tick mark here. Coming to question number 4, color the shape that has no straight sides. In question A, we have a diagram in which the sides are drawn with straight lines. So we will not color this shape. Coming to B, it's a shape of a oval, and its side has no straight sides. So we will color this shape B. Question number 5, match each object with the shape you get by tracing it on a paper. So if these objects are traced on a paper, what kind of shapes we get? We need to match the shapes with the objects. Here we have a circular object button which is circular. If you draw its outline on the paper, you will get a circle. So these two are matched here. Here we have a oval shaped object. It seems to be a plate, but it is oval in shape, and when we draw its outline on a paper, we will get a oval. So we will draw a straight line to match this object with the shape. And it's a chessboard which is square in shape, and the square shape chess board are matched together. So this is how we need to match the object with its shape. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned new things. Thank you for watching this video. Bye bye children.